Good morning, everybody. It is cold. We're talking big cold. It's cold out and snowing. So you guys be safe out there. If you are going outside, dress for it. It is very cold out. Uh, that cold that just cuts right through your clothes. All right, I got to refill on my coffee. We got more snow coming down. Coffee. All right. Like I said, I went out early this morning and it's horrible out. Very cold. Very, very cold. What are we doing today? Not much. Cleaning up around here. I got to go check on my little brother, do a couple things down there. Horrible out. Just horrible. Horrible cold. But that ought to cause some of these variants to go dormant. So that's always good. That's always a good thing. Good old coffee. So what's everybody doing today? Not much? Nah, I didn't think so. Really ain't too much to do anymore. I was watching Elon Musk this morning and his new $50,000 homes, portable homes. Which some of them look pretty nice. They're small homes, but feasible for life and stuff. Morning, broken dishes. So things have taken a turn on the crime cases. A lot of these YouTube channels, crime channel people, like I said, they all know each other. They all communicate with each other. A lot of changes going. I've seen Ernie Shell on Griff's channel last night. I guess they're friends now, which I was kind of shocked, but to each their own, I guess. Like I said, you're going to find that a lot of these cases are all connected in some way through social media. A lot of these channels, it's all part of the big connection, the French Connection, which really ain't the French Connection because that was a heroin operation that was going on. And it was called the French Connection. But a lot of changes going on in YouTube. People are blaming YouTube now and everything. YouTube's doing their job. They're tracking most of these people. We found out that these people really ain't what they say they are. And they actually belong to gangs, clubs, organizations, stuff like that. And they are making money off of the Summer Wells case. I can guarantee you that. And, they all keep saying Summer's going to come home. The only way Summer is going to come home, if this was all planned, then I can see Summer Wells coming home. But I don't think so. I don't think Summer Wells is going to be coming home anytime soon. If they do mysteriously find her, then it proves everything that we thought. They're all connected, and it was staged. Why? For views, money, scams. That's the only way little Summer Wells is coming home, is if it was all staged. Yes, from the photos I've seen, I believe she's deceased, and it probably was an accident. Maybe one of the parents fit a rage or whatever, or one of the kids, but something happened to little Summer Wells, and I don't believe she's coming home anytime soon. you know, that's just my opinion. Too many people wrapped up into it. Too many people with records. Too many people saying they're people, and they're not really not. You know, if it's true what Don Wells said, and was into drugs and whatever, and drug cartel and had money and all this and that. And, well, it's easy for these people to be paid off if Don Wells is who he says he is, connected with the Mexican mafia and all that. But I don't see how that, the mafia and everything being involved in this, I just don't see it. Well, like I said, they've all become friends now. They all communicate on through their cell phones or whatever, or social media. They create the story and they determine where the story is going to go and who. It's just a river of deceit. It is just a river of deceit. You know, Anthony Greeno supposedly wanted by the police and all this and that, and but yet he makes a video every day. You know, so I'm not buying their whole crap. Like I said, these people are so deceiving. I labeled them as Satan, the devil, the river of deceit, and the father of all lies. And these people have created it all for views, entertainment, and money, and subs, I believe. And to cover up their little organization they got. I mean, they're making big money off of it. And I am not talking about little Natasha Cooper or whatever. You know, it's just. Oh, folks, I did get voted as best meats on Holly Lewis and the News channel. Best meats on YouTube. So I got that going for me. Usually in these chat rooms, I feed them food. God dang phone. Name unavailable. I did find out that there's a list I could put my name on, and these people will not be able to call me no more. So I got to go to Indiana government, put my name on that list, and these people supposedly will stop calling me. Everybody told me there is no list. You're nuts. There is. So what a day, what a deceit, what a river of deceit. Like I said, they're all connected. They're all either in clubs, gangs, cartels, whatever it is. And we got a job to do to clean up YouTube. Well, YouTube should be. It ain't my job. It's YouTube's job to clean up this mess. You know, they let it go on for so long. And I do agree with some of the YouTubers that are saying, you know, YouTube should have did something about it, and they should have. But see, YouTube is making a lot of money through these people. So they're only going to shut down the small guys, you know. They're not going to shut down the big ones that they're making money off of. You know, it's corrupt. It's an organization, whatever you want to call it. Oh yeah, it's unreal. Broken dishes. It's unbelievable. But it's all going to come to an end pretty soon because you're going to see a lot of these people But what they've been doing is they belong to these organizations. And from what I found out, some of these guys that are running these organizations are going, what are these idiots doing? You know, and they're bringing heat down on these big guys. And the big guys are going, are you kidding me? That you're supposed to be keeping your mouth shut about that stuff. And they're drawing more attention to these people. But what I think it is these people ain't who they say they are. It has nothing to do with the Mexican mafia or the Italian mob or anything like that. They're just looking for somebody to blame it on because it was a bunch of white guys, a bunch of good old boys. A lot of people are saying cornbread mafia and all this and that, whatever it may be. I know one thing: it wasn't the mafia, and it wasn't the Mexican mafia or the Italian mafia. And I think these guys got themselves in a jam or whatever, and they're looking for other good old boys to try and get them out of trouble or whatever, or create this illusion. Ernie Shell, I don't know Ernie Shell. I've been hearing a lot about him. A lot of people, he's a predator, he's this, he's that. He does. If you people ain't got a half a sense, Ernie Shell stays mobile a lot, constantly moving. There's a reason for that. And these guys, like I was telling some of the big guys, we got to keep an eye on these guys. A lot of these guys got family members that are in prison or friends. And it don't take much for them to send a message through to them. And the next thing you know, people are being killed or whatever from inside the prison. So, yeah, it's like, watching Anthony Greeno's channel the other day. And he's talking about how his mother was murdered and everything. Well, I checked on it and did some, no, they recorded it as a drug overdose and that there was no foul play. But Anthony Greeno supposedly said this lady killed his mother. And in retaliation, Anthony Greeno's family killed another woman that was supplying drugs or whatever. And like I tried telling people, some of these drug dealers don't know what they have. They buy drugs and they don't know the purity of it, and they sell it. They don't test it to see what the purity is or anything like that. They just move it. They just sell it. So if it was a high potent heroin or cocaine or anything, it would kill the person. This has happened before back in the day. Back in the 80s, there was a bunch of stuff going around and it was very pure. And it was killing a lot of people. And people were thinking, well, somebody must have killed these people. No, the heroin or the cocaine was just a very high quality purity of heroin and cocaine. And it was killing people. It was nobody deliberately killing them. So, like I said, well, it turns out Anthony Greeno on camera said his family killed this girl or tried to kill her, stabbed the heck out of her, whatever, because he insists that lady tried to poison and kill his mother with drugs or whatever. It still don't, if there was proof of that, the police would have came out and said it was foul play, but they didn't. They said, even Anthony Greeno said, well, it was wrote up as a drug overdose. Well, that still don't give him the right to go out and kill people. And that's what happened is he killed somebody killed his mother, supposedly, from what he's saying. Then he went out and retaliated against that. And now the people that he did that stuff to, or his family did that stuff to, are retaliating against him. And then all these people get involved in it. And the next thing you know, you got people that are being killed, innocent people, over a bunch of crap. And it's unreal. Oh yeah, broken dishes. Good soup or chilly weather. Sure. Sure. It's 10 below zero out, I think, or something like that, or with the wind chill. It's cold. It's definitely cold out. As soon as you walk out, you can feel it. Uh, it's cold. So, what are we dealing with these YouTube cases? We're dealing with a bunch of people that might be involved in it. They might have created it. Some people, some experts are saying we think they created it. And now they're so crazy that they're trying to cover it up, their own things. It's like what I told these people before. Back in the day, there was an investigation into businesses. And these businesses, out of the blue, they would go crazy. And the owner of the company couldn't figure it out. What the heck is going on with my company? Mysteriously, there was problems or things popping up that weren't right. Well, the business owners, they called the government. I think something's going on in my business, and somebody's deliberately doing it. And then they send in agents into that business. Okay. And an event happened, a happening happened within the business. And what happened? Well, somebody came forward and said, I can fix this whole thing. I think I know what it is. And but it bing, 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 and fixed everything. Like like it was it was staged. Like they had everything in line and they knew exactly what was going on and yada yada yada. And the guy became a hero, but see, the investigators were inside the company and said he created it, and here's the proof. And then they showed the owner of the business, you know, it was this one guy the whole time. He was creating the havoc, but then was fixing it, and he knew how to fix it because he created it. And the guy was like a hero, but it was actually the hero that was destroying the business. Why? So he can be a hero. So he can be somebody. And that's what I think what's going on in some of these YouTube channels and stuff. Some of these guys are really, they're pumping out a lot of information. They're this, they're that, they're, you know, uh, gangs. They're affiliated with this or the Masons or whatever. And the big boys that run the whole show are going, yeah, who are these idiots? You know, and that's how a lot of these people even come up missing because, for one, if you're a Mason, you're not allowed to talk about anything. And I mean nothing. Nothing. It is a secret organization. You don't you don't squeeze out a fart. Nothing. It's a secret organization. It's always been that way. Uh, for the Freemasons or whatever. The Masons, the original guys that started the Masons were builders, and that's it. Somebody took it and created this secret society thing. It was no secret. They were construction workers. They were builders. That's who the Masons were. There was no secret in it. There was a secret on building, but all this secret society and chanting and they get together in a dark room, whatever, that's a bunch of crap. Somebody took that and tried to turn the Masons into what they're not. Masons are builders. The secret was how to build. That was the secret. And somebody took it and turned it into some organization like the mob, you know. And now the real Masons are going, yeah, these idiots are a bunch of idiots. All right, let's see what chat is saying. Johnny sounds like soup and chili. Well, it sure does. Sure does. Broken dishes. Pendejo says the Wells and the Petito cases are paying Doug no thanks rent. So there's a positive. I don't know what you're talking about, Pendejo. You're going to find that all these cases are connected. It's, everyone's, we have a serial killer at, no, we have a serial group of guys because there's too many deaths. The Petito case, there's too many women that came up dead around the Petito case. 8 girls and 2 guys were found out there by Gabby Petito and in that area around there, where everywhere where Brian Laundrie and Gabby Petito were, there's dead bodies. Now, could it have been someone stalking Brian Laundrie and Gabby Petito? I don't think so. I think it was more of a group of them traveling around killing people. Like I said, if we find Brian Laundrie, I want to question him on the Delphi case because all the MOs are adding up to where it's not one guy. It's a big organization of them. It might be dating sites. It might be, fraudulent dating sites or whatever. They were using people's photos. And like I told you guys before, I seen Gabby Petito's photo on a dating site years and years ago. On a dating site, the one with her and the butterfly. That was on a dating site years and years ago, before she even died. So I'm thinking that's probably what it was. It's a big group of them. And they keep looking for one person. And I'm like, you people are so far off. It's more than one. There ain't no way one person did all these killings by himself and no one knows anything about it. They must have been communicating over the internet, through social media, yada, 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 yada. And if we do find Brian Laundrie, which a lot of people are saying, well, he never died. No, he didn't. Probably not. And what makes me suspicious about the whole thing is good God, did you see how many people popped up that look like Brian Laundrie? And that's for a reason. Terrorists do the same thing. They have lookalikes. Saddam Hussein had 5-6 people that look like him. Even Bin Laden had lookalikes. That's what they do. I mean, everybody's got a lookalike in the world. Someone that looks like them, maybe a couple people that look like them. But when you got 5, 6, 7, there were sightings of Brian Laundrie everywhere. And that's a clue that, well, they got lookalikes to hide the real guy, So do I think Brian Laundrie is still alive? A good chance of it. Real good chance of it. Real good chance of it. But like I said, this whole thing with Calvin Klein, Keegan Klein, I keep telling these people, yeah, they knew about Keegan Klein 12 days after the murders. They went to his house and got all the information they needed, all the cell phones, the hot phones, the throwaway phones, whatever you guys want to call them, the computers, whatever. And then they started going through them phones, trying to get data out of them and phone numbers. And then they probably came across Greeno's phone somehow if he was communicating with supposedly the killer. I don't know, is it possible? It's possible, but if this guy was a serial killer and wanted to, he would have contacted a news company or the police and played games with them, not just some YouTuber or something, My opinion, They're all connected. They all knew each other down there, down south. You know, who's feeding these guys? Who's putting them up to it? Somebody is. Somebody's paying them. I wouldn't doubt it if Kelvin Klein or Keegan Klein, whoever his name was being paid for the photos and selling drugs and stuff like that for people or whatever. And he got photos and videos of them with a bunch of drugs. So I imagine the drugs were involved in it, the sex ring and everything that's going on. And some of these people are trying to say, no, it's these big organizations or gangs or cartels or whatever. And, you know, they're probably right. They're definitely probably right. You know, and then the cop that supposedly is Anthony Shots or whatever. And now Drino is saying, well, that's, you know, there was a mix up in the name. It wasn't me. And it was Anthony Shot. Well, we don't know that. That all could have been placed to try and protect, because there's a lot of people that, you know, probably their families or whatever, innocent people got wrapped up into it and, you know, possibly killed or whatever. And that was a clue. When I listened to the police press release, as soon as that cop said, you know, these people are going to be shocked who it is, and you know, they're the cause of what happened, meaning somebody must have did something and it was a chain reaction and they retaliated or whatever, revenge or whatever, and killed them two little girls out there and maybe more. You know, here's the thing, there's reports and videos out there that I've seen that there was a young couple arguing out there. Well, who reported that there was a young couple arguing out there before the girls were killed? That means somebody had to heard something. If somebody reported mysteriously that there was a young couple out there arguing before the murders, then somebody knows something more than what they're telling. My opinion. Let's see what Broken Dishes said. One rumor is the musician the chef Anthony Bourdain. Well, he was messed up in the crack real big. Broken Dishes. Anthony Bourdain. I used to watch him. That's the guy that used to cook the food and go traveling or something. He was on PBS, I think, once in a while, his channel or something like that. Yeah, Broken Dishes. Well, there's a video out there that Mind Shock. I don't know if you watch Mind Shock, but Mind Shock had a video years ago that that there was reports of a van that was parked out there on the trail, and there was a young couple out there arguing. But they're saying they don't know if that's true. There was just reports of it. Now, I seen the video myself, and that's what it did say in the video. It did say that there was reports of a white van that was parked out there, and there was reports of a young couple arguing, and then there was reports of a big white utility truck that was parked on the road that day, down the road from the bridge. Well, I blew up the photo, and you can see a utility truck, a white big box utility truck or whatever. So it's possible. Anything is possible. There's reports it was a semi driver waiting to get loaded
from one of the plants around there. It could have been. You know, it could have been. Anything is possible. No, Anthony Bourdain was a crack addict, Bendejo, for many, many years. Many years. He used to smoke crack a lot when he was a cook. I don't know if you know that or not, Bendejo, but yes, he was into crack cocaine. For many years, but then he kicked it. But then someone said he might have had a relapse, and that's why he killed himself or whatever. And, yeah, who knows? So what are we doing? I don't know what we're doing with these cases. They should have been shut down, these channels. They've created so much havoc and everything. And like the police said in the press release, people are going to be shocked once they find out the truth that, you know, this person, everyone thought they were probably good or whatever. You know, there was even videos out there saying that it was a music incident, meaning somebody in the music business or whatever, you know, had these two girls killed or something. Or it's possible. These musicians these days, it's a lot different from when back in the day with music. Well, rock and roll, they just didn't have these kind of problems. You know, everyone got along and everything. Uh, you know, you know, everybody got along, but it ain't that way anymore. The business has changed. New people took it over. It's become like a gang, a syndicate, whatever you want to call it. So is it possible that some of these videos that I've seen on YouTube, and all I'm doing is reporting on the videos that I've seen, and you know, is it possible? Yeah, it's possible. Yeah, if they got $1 million, sure, it's possible. You know. So pretty soon we're going to be tracking these phone numbers down and putting out a list of all these phone numbers so people can look. I know what they already told me. Most of these people are dead. They're taking their hot phones. They're taking people's numbers they're dead or deceased or whatever, using their names or whatever. Some people are still alive and don't even know their names are being used or their phone numbers. Yeah, Johnny, I'm pretty sure you never did drugs. That's very obvious. What do you mean? Everybody's done drugs, Bendejo. You know, even when I was a young person, I did drugs. But there's one thing I didn't do while I was on drugs is kill people. So remember the old Broken Dishes says, remember the old innocent days when people were getting sold catnip instead of something else? No, sure, you know, sure. But these days, I try telling people, if you're going to buy cannabis, go to a dispensary. You know, do it legally. You know, then you know exactly what you're getting. It's all tested to make sure that there's no chemicals, pesticides, molds. LSD or anything in it, you know. But then again, you got to have people watching the dispensaries because they might miss, they might be, it's a business, it's a racket, just like anything else. You know, if a business can overcharge you money and you not know about it and never pick up on it, well, they'll keep that money. If you do pick up on it and you say you overcharged me, the business will try and keep that money as long as they can. Why? Because they'll get interest on it. They'll say, well, okay, we'll return your money, give us this amount of time. Well, because if they collect if they collect $200,000-$300,000 a day or whatever, 500,000 a day or whatever, they get interest on that, and that interest builds up real fast. They might make 1,000, 2,000, whatever on it within a period of a couple months, just in interest or whatever, So it's just unreal. Yeah, the old days of the innocent Pendejo. The old days. Pendejo. Broken Dishes says the innocent days. I know. And Pendejo says, what the F are you talking about? Business, Pendejo. Don't you know anything about business? If they can scam you out, say you're buying something over Amazon, and they charge you double the money, okay? And you get the bill and you say, wait a minute, a month later you get the bill and you say, wait a minute, you charged me for 2 items or whatever. Well, they make money off of that within a big money like that. Broken Dishes, you have a good day, be safe. And yes, stay warm. Stay warm. So they collect interest off of that Pendejo. So if they can keep that money longer in big volumes, they collect interest off of that. So, it might be a penny. It might be 50 cents, depending on how much it is or whatever. They'll collect interest on it. So then they give you your $50 back, but they made, whatever on it. They made money on it. It might have been a penny. It might have been 2 pennies. It might have been 5 cents, 10 cents, whatever. They make money on that. So it's all a scam. Everything is a scam. And like I said, some of these YouTube channels YouTube should have caught them and figured out what was going on. And, they don't want the case to be solved. Do you people understand? They don't want the Delphi case to be solved. They don't want the Summer Wells case to be solved. They don't want the Gabby Petito case to be totally 100% solved. Why? Because they're making money off of it. If their cash cow goes away, they got nothing to make videos on. They got no money to collect. Therefore, the well went dry. In the police station, the case is already solved. We already know what happened. We already know who's involved. But through social media, they don't want it to end because they make money off of it. And some of them are probably involved. Yeah, I've seen the Joe Rogan stuff, Pendejo. Joe Rogan just put out a new video yesterday, him in the airport with a drunk, passed out. Joe's drinking coffee. Yeah, so to me, it's just ridiculous what happened. You know, I've been watching The Real Grift for a while, and I was like, well, this guy's making sense and everything. But then I got worried because now he's talking, he's wearing uh, Mason stuff, Mason rings, and you don't wear that stuff. The Masons, they're very secret now these days. You know, I don't know. Someone took it and turned it into a secret society, like Skull and Bones and all this, and I'm like, oh God, that wasn't even what it was when it was first created. The Masons were like a union when they first started. It was a secret on the way that they built, not anything else. They didn't break laws. They were builders. They were builders. Some idiot took it and turned it into something that it wasn't. And like I said, I watched Real Griff, and he had a hunkering for some of these guys that were just flat out people seen through their bullshit. And then he started wearing that ring, and people asked, "Are you a Mason?" and everything. Well, if he was a real Mason, which he might be a Mason, but he knows, people, you know, you don't talk about it. That's part of their secret society. You don't talk about what goes on, and you don't wear anything in public to show that you're a Mason. Uh, I've done a lot of research on that, and it wasn't the Masons that killed them two little girls. If it was the real Masons, them two little girls would not have been hidden in a gully. They would have been out for the whole world to see. They would have been hanging from that bridge. And that's no joke. That is no joke. That is the truth. Uh, and there would have been a note in their front pocket or pinned to them. And there would have been bricks tied to them and whatever to show, somebody screwed over the Masons. But the way that they were staged and found in a gully, they were intent. I don't think whoever did it wanted the girls to be found right away. So that told me, it ain't the Masons. These people talking about it. It's the Masons. It's a biker gang or whatever. Yeah, wannabes, not the real guys. Because if it was the real Masons, they would have been hanging from that bridge. I mean, I hate to say it, it's gory, and I'm just trying to tell these people the truth. I've seen a lot of Mason cases, and they make people, they make it clear this is what happens when you mess with the Masons. Literally notes in the front pockets of these people with bricks in them. And that's a sign of somebody messed with the Masons. Somebody must have stole some money from the Masons or did something bad to a Mason, and the Masons. But like I said, do your history, people. Masons were builders in the beginning. When the Masons first started, they were builders. They were tradesmen, and that's it. Somebody took it and turned it into something that it wasn't supposed to be. They were pipe fitters. They were they were construction guys, masons. They worked with masonry, meaning bricks, mortar, cement, carpentry. They had to build wood frames to put up around so they can build these castles and these bridges. They were carpenters. They were electricians. They were a trade, and then someone took it and turned it into a money business thing, and secret organization and just really destroyed it. You know, I'll tell you what, when I learned a trade, I was very proud of myself that I can go out with a group of 5, 6 guys and build a custom home uh, from nothing, from a bunch of 2x4s and 2x12s and 8x8 posts and logs and whatever. Uh, you know, I was proud of myself. I learned a trade. I didn't have to go out and do anything bad. You know, learned how to build a wall, cut wood and stuff like that. It was very fun too because you're out there with dudes, you get to know them, you become friends. Now you go to work, but you're with friends and you're having fun all day and you're joking around, you're getting work done, everything's going good. But like I said, there's bad in everything. They'll take something good and make it into something bad. So this whole thing that's blowing up on YouTube with Anthony Garino and Sean Harmon and all these people that are coming to their rescue. Well, these guys are wanted supposedly from what they said, or Anthony Garino said he's wanted and he ain't gonna go to jail for smoking pot and all this and that. And I don't think it's anything. I think it's more than just smoking pot. But who am I to say? I don't know. I keep telling them, turn yourself in, get it over with, so you can get started on your life all over again. Bendejo said, Dave Mason said, we just disagree. I'm not talking about that. I'm not talking about Dave Mason. I'm friends with Dave Mason on my Facebook, Bendejo. I'm talking about the Freemasons, the Masons. Which I'm not saying anything bad about the Masons. Let's get that straight. I got no beef with the Masons. Excuse me, I had to go to the bathroom real quick. But then again, when you look at these cases on YouTube, people, now remember, these might be people that are sick in the head. Either they had a revenge against somebody or they tried to set somebody up, or maybe they were doing things they shouldn't have been doing. And in order to cover it up, they killed the 2 girls out in Delphi. Is it possible? Yes. And you have to look at, Sean Harmon yelling out that his dad was a Mason, a biker, yada, yada, yada. It might have been a setup, meaning they were trying to set the real Masons up. And I just don't see Masons killing 2 little tiny girls. I'm sorry. They would have killed the parents, the grandparents, whatever, but they just don't kill little tiny kids. Not the real Masons. I'm sorry, it just ain't that way. Uh, what are we dealing with? Well, possibly a copycat killer, maybe somebody that tried to make it look like it was something that it what really wasn't. That's my opinion. Hold on, I gotta get some more coffee. So what do we do? I don't know. Sit back and watch. I'm sure they'll. It's close to being over. I think the police are hip to what's going on, and people saying, "Oh, this is all," like the police said. It's probably from somebody that is going to shock everybody, and maybe they did have a lot of money. Maybe they are connected with music or whatever down there, down south or whatever. There's a bunch of these wars going on within this new country rap stuff or whatever they call it. Could it have been something like it could have been anything? We won't know until the investigation is over. We won't know until the investigation is over. And I think why it's taken so long is because it's bigger than what they thought. And you know how easy it is to get wrapped up into this. If somebody is wanted for something or did something bad, and they're calling you, and you might know them people, but you have no idea what's going on. You just, when you talk to that person, it's a normal conversation. But see, to the police, they don't know that, so they investigate it. And are they able to tell if somebody was just a regular phone call or it was somebody involved in the case? Yeah. They can tell that. It just takes a little time to find out. Like I said in the beginning, I'm not buying all these people's stories or crime channels. Some of them are really good crime channels, and some of them you can see that they're on the verge of cracking. Something's up. We put the heat on them, and they're cracking on camera. Yeah, something ain't right. And if Anthony Drino, if it's true what they say, that he's wanted for something or whatever, anybody that goes on his channel and hides him could be charged with harboring and abetting a fugitive, helping him. They know he's wanted, but they're around him, so that makes them, whatever he did, possibly. I don't know. It depends on if they really want to push the issue. These people could be charged with conspiracy to cover up a crime or whatever, or harboring and fugiting a fugitive. And they in their minds they think, well, that's impossible. No, it ain't. No, it ain't. If you know that guy is a wanted man, and you're helping him, and you're being seen communicating with him, and yada yada, and you ain't telling him to do the right thing and turn himself in, well, then you're actually helping him, go on with things. So I don't know. I'm just trying to tell these people the facts. That is the facts. A lot of people say, well, I don't even live in that state or that country. You don't have to. You don't have to live in this state. You don't have to live in this country. Drino can be communicating with people all the way across the other side of the world. We don't know. Sean Herman, supposedly he's off drugs and was in the heroin thing and meth or whatever, and now he's back into it. Well, you know, now we got to worry about, well, all he's got to do is put the word out to one of these heroin guys or whatever. And next thing you know, you got people popping up dead, mysteriously or whatever. And, so we're on the defense here. We're always, uh, on the defense, meaning these people could be gangbangers and they're trying to have people killed or whatever, or turn their viewers on other people that ain't going along with their program or their outcome of the case. If you haven't noticed, people, these people are determining where the case goes, who works on the case and who don't. They all strike your channels. If they want a channel taken out, they put the word out, and next thing you know, everybody's striking your channel, and you get taken down. Some of these people are involved in this goddamn spirit crap and entity crap where they're communicating with, you know what? All I'm going to say is these people remind me of Alice Crowley. They create it. They're conjuring, they're spirits, they're whatever, sending evil, the devil, whatever you want to call it. This has turned into something huge. I mean, if you're an investigator, it's bingo. It's a cash cow case. Like I said, when you start dabbling and doing bad things, evil, whatever, sacrificing, could the girls been sacrificed? It's possible. Could have been some devil worshiping thing. Very possible. We don't know until the case is over with. Could it have been a setup, a revenge killing? It's looking something like that. Maybe it was a note. Maybe there was a falling out between the gangs down there, the biker clubs, whatever it was, or But I know this: it was not the Italian mafia. They don't kill little girls. If they did, then that would be open house on the Italian mafia. Meaning, their rules that they made that you don't attack family, you don't attack their kids, whatever, would be broken, and then it would be open house on the Italians. They would start killing these mafia guys as kids and stuff. So there's a rule that these guys have, and they stick by that rule. And you don't monkey with families, and you don't monkey with kids. That's the mafia's number one thing. So I don't think it was the Italians. I don't think it was the Masons. There would have been certain clues, messages in the way the girls were killed to point towards somebody in that family messed with a mafia guy or messed with a Mason guy. So, and there ain't. So I think what we have is somebody that tried to make it look like it was something that it wasn't. Bendeo says, how do you explain Fredo? Easy. Fredo was an adult, Bendeo. Fredo wasn't a kid. So when he went against the family, he was an adult going against their own family, whatever. He got taken out. That's a movie. But in real life, it's sort of like that, but they don't mess with kids. And they don't mess with the wives and the family members. It's mainly the person that is connected or the person that did the killing or did whatever bad or ratted on somebody or whatever, that gets killed. The rule is you don't mess with the family members. Now, if the Italians were to break that law, well, then you'd have people going at the mafia and killing the mafia people's kids and family members. So the Italians stick to that, and so do pretty much all the mafia. You know, the Jewish mob, the Irish mob, the Ethiopian mob. They all have these organizations. Now, they're not supposed to, Bendejo, but they do. You know, some of these guys get a hair up their butt or whatever. And they do, but they're not supposed to. That's the rules, you know. But then again, them are old rules, Bendejo. The rules might have changed since back in the day. Back in the day when I was growing up, the mafia didn't monkey with drugs. They stayed away from it. They were making enough money in prostitution, gambling, loan sharking, alcohol, you know, clubs, shaking people down. So the big bosses didn't want drugs anywhere around them because it brought down too much heat. But things have changed and it turned into a free for all. You know, who knows? It's a mess. I can tell you that. I can tell you that. When the big guys, you know, the big government guys are going, yeah, we got a problem. Well, sure we do. We spent too much time over in other countries saving their lives when this country was, you know, and then there's a lot of the big guys, the big government guys going, well, they're affiliated. Well, what the F do you mean they're affiliated? Well, they use them. The government uses them. The government don't want to get their hands dirty, don't want anyone to know, espionage, whatever you call it. And then they use these either gangs or the mafia or whatever to do things so it don't link them to the government. So, what are we dealing with? Nothing. All you can do is hunker down, be safe. Some of us, well, we're under protection or whatever because these YouTubers are nut jobs. Complete nut jobs. And of course, they want big views. They want big subs. They want people to like them. So when shit goes bad, they could use their viewers or whatever to hide or to use against people. You know, not. Oh, it's freezing out here, Bendejo. You're lucky you are where you are, Bendejo. 50 degrees weather is, you know, that's just baby crap. We're talking cold out here. This is Chicago Bears weather. This is this is where the Bears go out, you know, 20, 30 below zero, a foot of snow, and they're out there playing in t-shirts. And yeah, that's the Bears. That's what they did. That's literally, I can remember some games back when I was growing up. Uh, there'd be a blizzard going on, 20 below zero weather and everything, and the Bears would be out there without any sleeves on or nothing, man. Just reports of frostbite, fingers turning blue and black, and toes. That's what the Bears did. They were bears. You know. So for someone like me that grew up, it's cold out, but I went out in a pair of sweatpants and a t-shirt to throw the garbage out. And, you know, it don't really hit me unless you're out there for a long, long time and it's real cold. But when I was growing up watching the Bears, these guys would be out there 20 below zero in a t-shirt, well, just a jersey with pads on. And then everybody in town was like, yeah, well, we're from, oh, this is Chicago Bears. That's our team. So you had young kids running around in the middle of winter with just, a pair of sweatpants on and a t-shirt. They want to be like McMichael, or they want to be like Mongol or something, out there 20 below weather uh, in a jersey walking around. You know. And your body does get used to it, climate change and everything. It thickens up your blood or whatever, thins your blood out. You're out in hot weather or whatever. It's nuts. Whole thing is gone cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. Get outside, Mendejo. You get 50-degree weather out there. Get outside and enjoy yourself. Here we got wind, cold, and it's snowing out right now. It's snowing out right now. So, what do we do? I don't know. What do we do with these cases? I don't know. We wait until they're over with. I think it's more. Here's what I really think with the Delphi case, and Petito case, and other cases, and excuse me. Probably, hold on a minute. I got to go to the bathroom. Where was I? Yeah, we won't know until the case is over with. Now, do I have a beef against Anthony Greeno or Sean Harmon or any of these people? No. They threatened people. They were the first ones that drew first blood or whatever. No one else did. And then all of a sudden, people went at them. People started talking about their channels or whatever, and then they got pissed. And don't you mention my name? And when we find it, and now you got Sean Harmon talking about if you touch any of my people or any of my family members or anyone below me, he'll kill you or whatever. Well, if I'm an investigator, I'm sitting back going, yeah. What do you mean below you? What do you mean all these people below you and everything? That must make you a big guy or something. These guys did it to themselves, and they, it might not be true. It might have been they made everything up, but as a good investigator and a government agent, you got to investigate it all. They brought heat down on people, and people are pissed. You know, it was all for views. It was all made up or whatever, people were diverted. Innocent people were hurt, whatever. Why? Well, there was a $325,000 reward. So I imagine that's why what happened happened. They were all in it for the money. You know, they were all in it for the money. Now, Ernie Shell, the guy, the Hunter Nation or whatever, I seen him doing his best Ricky Bobby on the highway, running down the highway. The police were going to kill him and shoot him. Yeah, I was on the ground laughing. I'm like, if this ain't right out of Ricky Bobby, Talladega Nights, I don't know what is. He's running down the highway. They're going to kill me. And then you got the dispatcher lady going, they're not going to kill you, Ernie. They just want to talk to you. No, they're not. They're going to kill me. No, they're not, Ernie. Just turn yourself in, Ernie. Lay down. Oh, it was hilarious. Hilarious. These guys are all promoters, wrestlers, wannabes. They're not real hunters. That might be how they're getting away with murder, is saying they're real private eyes. They're real man hunters or whatever, bounty hunters or whatever, and they're going out killing people. It wasn't, I'm a bounty hunter, and they pulled a gun on me or whatever, It very well could be. We don't know yet. I'm sure they'll find out. I can tell you that much. They will find out. And it all goes back to corruption. I think we got the right guys. It's the government that's backing them is corrupt. So therefore they're making it out to be somebody that it really ain't. And we already know what's going on, which is very possible. All you can do is keep your nose clean and stay out of it. You can comment on their videos or whatever, go into their chats or whatever, but I wash my hands of it. And I can guarantee you this much. Jesus has nothing to do with it. Some of these people belong to cults, church cults. It was God's will, and these people have lost their minds. This is what happens when you give a country so many freedoms where they worship a fly on the wall. It's gone nuts. Where they're out slaughtering people and they're telling people, well, it was God's will. Some messed up stuff, if you ask me. But who am I? I'm nobody. Could have been a disgruntled cop. Might have been fired. Maybe a parent. Maybe somebody's parent that got fired, that was a cop that got fired and has a grudge against the police department, so went out and created all this mess. Very well could be. That's what we're looking at, probably. If you ask me, that's what it was. It was a disgruntled killing. All these girls. Somebody that used to be somebody, probably, or their family members, something like that. But the Masons, I don't think so. And the Italian mafia killing all these little girls, I don't think so. But then again, things could have changed dramatically. Things could have changed by the old rules ain't the old rules anymore. You know, some of these people, some of these YouTube channels, I think, got in way too deep and they can't get out. And they think they're out. They think they're out, that everything's okay. They're back to making videos and all this and that, but they're not. They're suspects in a murder of two little girls and maybe more. They might not have killed them, but they had a hand in it, meaning it was done to cover up what they did or whatever. You know, could one of them girls been pregnant? I'm starting to believe it's possible, maybe. Could have been maybe one of them was abused, or maybe one of the girls found out about a drug operation or whatever. You know, an informant. It could have been. We don't have all the evidence, so we don't know. But if it was the Masons, they would have never staged the girls in a gully where you can't see the girls. You know, so that tells me it was in an area where they didn't want people to find the girls right away. You know, the Masons, well, they would have made it clear. This is what happens when you mess with the Masons. You know, they would have made it clear. They would have been out for everyone to see. But then again, I keep telling people it wasn't the real Masons. The real Masons are builders, and that's it. That's it. They're tradesmen. That's it. They're not child killers. I hate to say it, but police are going to have to they're going to have to release everything they know about the Delphi killings, all the video, everything, the autopsy photos, everything. They're going to have to release it, the crime scene photos, because these people have turned it into such a circus that it might be these people. You know, how do these people know how the girls were killed? How do these people even know if the girls crossed the river? How do they know that when that information was never released? It was supposed to be a hush-hush thing. I don't know. You know, how did these people find out information about the case when there's been no photos released of the crime scene? There's been no DNA evidence released. There's been none of that released. How do these people know that? You know, the family members were told to keep their mouth shut, but yet you got videos out there on YouTube saying that the family members leaked stuff. You know, it ain't making sense. And that's why I'm not buying none of it at all. I watched a video that said the girls were decapitated, hands chopped off, and people carved stuff into their bodies and then penetrated the girls with sticks and, you know, all kinds of stuff. I'm like, oh, that's really weird, because, you know, I don't remember ever seeing the police come out and say that's how the girls died. How are these people coming out with that information that that's the way the girls died? Well, it had to be leaked or made up, and the girls didn't die that way. But like I said, if we find Brian Laundrie, you know, we want to question him about the Delphi killings and numerous other killings that have been going on. You know, and we want to question all these people that we already have in prison for this. They all knew each other down there through social media. And they grew up down there. Chadwell, Kirk, all these guys grew up in that area. Kelvin Klein, Keegan Klein, you know, all these guys that are suspects in the case are from Indiana down there. And they all know each other or ran into each other somewhere in towns or on social media. And that's what I think it is. And everyone wants the case to be solved, but it's too big of a case to close because I believe that the police keep running into more leads. The phone informations, the hot phone, the SIM cards, leads one to another, to another, to another. So it's going to be interesting to see what comes of it. Once again, I got no beef with Anthony Greeno. If I was Anthony Greeno's friend, I'd tell him to turn himself in and get the crap over with so you can get back to your life. And I don't think it's right that Anthony Greeno thinks that he's justified because he thinks his mother was murdered and his sister went out and stabbed a girl to death or something, or almost killed her and stabbed her to death or whatever. And that's why he did whatever, and his family's about, it don't justify it. If it was that, then he should have told the police, we think it's a murder, and they would have, investigated it. But the report says it was a drug overdose. So, now I'm not saying Anthony Greeno's mother, and that ain't even his real name, supposedly, but, I'm not saying she might have been killed, but it wasn't up to Greeno and his family to take things into their own hands. And that's what created this giant mess, is probably Greeno's running from a hit team because Greeno's family did something they shouldn't have done. Is it possible? Sure it is. Am I saying that's what happened? No. But I got an inkling of the police coming out and saying, once they find out that you're the cause of this mess, well, that told me it was somebody there. And then for the police to come out and say, you might be in this room with us. Well, there was only certain people allowed in that press release. Either a private investigator, another police officer, FBI, or a news channel, or an investigator / news channel. That was a hint. That was a clue. Or they would have never came out and said that. That sheriff would have never got on TV and said, or on the press release and said, you might be in this room with us right now. Well, that was a clue, because there's only certain people allowed in a double murder of 2 little kids press release. So they would have had to have credentials to be there. That was a clue. Another clue was we might have already interviewed you, or you might have already called, and and we might have already talked to you, and this and that. That was another clue. Am I saying Anthony Greeno, the killer, didn't call him? It's possible, but it ain't making sense. They won't give Greeno's phone back, and all they need is the data from it. They don't need the phone, just the data. So, it ain't making sense. It's been, I don't know how long. He should have got his phone back by now. If he was innocent, if he had nothing to do with it. Killer did actually call him, he would get his phone back, and if he was completely innocent. But, Greeno said he was questioned about it. Michael Catt even said on his channel that he was questioned about the Delphi murders and stuff. Now, are these guys telling the truth? I don't know. I have no idea, but that's what they said on their videos. So if it was lies, well, then they were doing it for views or whatever, you know, or subs or money or whatever. It's possible. All right, folks, I'm done for today. I got to go out and do a great outdoors video. It's cold. It's cold out. Brings me back to the kid days when I was younger. It's cold, I'll tell you that much. But like I said, maybe these people are mixed up in magic or witchery or sorcery or entities or whatever. Maybe they are doing bad things. You know, the Bible says not to talk to spirits, but yet these people continue to talk to spirits, ghosts. They open the door for this evil. Then they make friends with it and try and use it. Who did that? Aleister Crowley, the most wickedest man in the world. You want the truth, people. There's the truth. You know, all the proof I needed was when Dave Mustaine came out on video and said he used to worship the devil and put curses and spells on people to sleep with him, with beautiful women and stuff, and do all kinds of bad things or whatever. Now, that's not me saying that. That was Dave Mustaine saying it on video. That he used to worship the devil. You know, that was okay. This stuff must be real then, or at least they're trying to make it real. And it turned into a big giant zoo or whatever. I don't know. It's like going to the zoo and watching the monkeys. You know, everybody loves the little monkeys, the little champions, you know, the chimpanzees and everything. Everybody loves them. They're so adorable. But you know, if you stay there long enough, eventually that monkey's going to throw crap all over you. But you're so torn because you love the monkeys. But you know, if you stick around there, eventually that monkey's going to get close enough where he's going to throw crap all over you. Then Dejo says, yep, what Dave Mustaine says is truth. Well, sure it is, but now you got big groups of teams of people saying, it's the devil. They've been using the devil to make their money and kill people and whatever, sacrifice people, whatever. Now you got big groups of people that are coming into the country going, we're going to get rid of all these people. Literally, they're leaving the earth, you know, and there ain't nothing anyone could do about it. You know, they created it, not us, not me, not, you know. You know, I don't know. I didn't create it. Now I can remember when I was younger, the Bible saying you're not supposed to talk to spirits, you're not supposed to talk to ghosts because it ain't what you think. It's not. They're not good people. It's demons acting like they're something that they're not. So I don't do any of that crap. You know, if I feel like I have somebody that's trespassing on me or a spirit here, you know, don't talk to it, and cast it out of your life. But we're going to get to all these magic men, just like they are right now. And all their demons and everything. They can literally trespass on you, change your voice, change your appearance, whatever it may be. It's evil. Evil. I don't know. Now, I'm not making it up. They made it up. I wasn't even on Earth when they made this stuff up. I wasn't even born. Look at that. I got the little birds coming back. He's out there on the. I got to get out and start doing some. Oh, there he went. He jumped down. I got to get there and do a great outdoors. Maybe I can get some of these birds on camera. Get some of these birds on camera. But anyways, that's my opinion on it. It just turned into a madhouse. Dave Levine had the drummer of Megadeth in his band, in Dave's band. Cool. Cool. But that's my take on it. I think it's just a matter of time before they get to all these guys. Anthony Greeno, if you're watching, turn yourself in. If you made up this story and you're not wanted by the police, then come out and make a video saying you made it all up. Till then, you got people looking for you because you're a wanted man from what these people are saying. And plus, nobody trusts the sheriff's department. You know, Greeno keeps telling people to call the sheriff's department. They'll tell you we have nothing to do with it. They don't trust the police department. They don't care what the police department says. You know, they're going on what you've said, what other people have said in their videos. Now, do I know if Anthony Greeno is wanted or not? No. Nor do I care. It ain't none of my business. I was raised, keep your mouth shut, go to work, mind your own business unless it happens to someone you know or something. You know, so I don't pry into people's lives. You know, this whole thing with Don Wells, when he was 10 or 12, had a 7-year-old girlfriend or whatever. Big effing deal. What does that have to do with today and Summer Wells missing? He was a minor. You're not supposed to bring up stuff that happened when they were minors. It's irrelevant. He was a kid who didn't have a dirt bike at 10 years old or 12 years old and had girls, you know, falling all over him. Who didn't? We'd have to lock up half of this country, if not more. Has nothing to do with the case. What's relevant is what he's done within year, you know, of her disappearance, a couple years or whatever. You know, what he did when he was a minor, I don't give a crap about. I don't care if he was playing spin the bottle with other kids his age or girls or whatever. That's what they did back then. That's what happens when you have children that are unsupervised. They do what they see. if they see mommy and daddy kissing all the time and touching each other or whatever, or, having sex, that's what they're going to do to a young girl when they're alone with them or whatever. So, it's irrelevant to the case what happened after he was a minor. What happened 5 years before she came up missing? What happened a year before she came up missing? 6 months or whatever. What he did when he was a minor is irrelevant. The drummer died on stage. Why he was playing with Dave or why he was playing with Megadeth, Bendejo? Can you answer that, Bendejo? Was he with Megadeth when he died, or was he playing with Dave? I'll have to look it up. I'll have to look it up. That's like the AC/DC drummer. All it took was for him to get mixed up in something. The next thing you know, they were bringing him into court for all kinds of shit. He got mixed up into the wrong stuff with the wrong people and thought he was a superstar. And they do, and he is. Rick Rude is a great drummer, and he is a superstar. He's a great drummer. But he got wrapped up into the wrong shit. Next thing you know, his name got brought up into it. Next thing you know, he's in court and stuff for, stuff. So, you got to be careful. No, I don't have nothing against Rick Rude. He's a great drummer. Great drummer. But that's what you get. These people promote it. They promote the devil horns. They promote the I remember when Angus Young came out with that one record, and he was, you never seen Angus do any of that stuff. And then somewhere down the road, all of a sudden, Angus is dressing up like a schoolboy, but with devil horns on the top of his head. And then he's walking around sticking his fingers up like he has horns on his head and while he's in concert. Where did that come from? Before, you didn't see that stuff. He didn't do it when he was with Bon and all that. He didn't do that. Where did that come from? I don't know. And I thought that it was a great gimmick, the school kid thing, dressed up in the school kid outfit and everything. Great gimmick. But then all of a sudden it went to now he's got double hat on, the double horns. And, what's going on here? I'm like, what the heck? Where did this go bad? I don't know. Dave Mustaine might have been telling the truth about everything. They sold their souls. It might be. Who knows? I don't know. I'm not wrapped up into it, or I don't want nothing to do with it. I couldn't tell you how to pray to the devil if my life depended on it. I just could. I don't know what to tell you. I grew up differently. It's not right. If you're going to pray to anyone, you pray to God, or you pray to Jesus. You don't pray to the devil, and you give the devil no power. And the devil has no power over me. He's got nothing. He's got baby. He's the cause of all this mess. He's the cause of all the deaths. Even though someone else did it, the devil was at work through that guy. If you want to get technical and biblical and all that, well, it wasn't that guy. It was the devil. You can't put him in jail. He was possessed by the devil. Well, now people have changed their stories. Now it's all mental illness. It's not real. It's not this. It's not that. All right. You know, whatever you guys say, whatever, you know. But then again, what was the biggest prank of all or trick that the devil ever put on? Well, that he wasn't real. He didn't exist. I don't know. It's a madhouse. They created a madhouse. Now we got to clean it up. All right, I got to get off of here. I got to do a great outdoors video. I got to stir up that bird feed out there to make sure it ain't frozen, so them birds can eat. And I'll be back with a great outdoors video. It's cold outside. God bless. Lord, thanks for another day. And do I have a beef with any of these YouTubers? No. No, they can make all the videos they want. They can accuse me of anything. They can make all the videos they want about me. They can do whatever. It ain't distracting me from our mission. And our mission is to clean this country up. You know, the proof is in the pudding. If I was anything that these people said, I'd be locked up in prison, and the people I know, probably I'd be dead. So, you know, let them make all the videos they want. It's not going to affect my outcome at all. I'm not the one that's being hunted down. Some of these YouTuber channels are, you know, and my heart bleeds for them, but they got wrapped up into it, not me. All right, you guys have a good day. Be safe. Believe me, if these guys get caught using magic or selling their souls, they'll pay the price. You know, if they're selling other people's souls or doing spirit stuff or witchery or communicate, these people are going to pay the ultimate price. Not us godly people that are sitting at home, you know, not sitting here worshiping Beelzebub or whatever his name is, or putting curses on people. You know, are curses real? Well, they were in the Bible. They were in the Bible. I think you're going to see a big change coming to this world pretty soon. A lot of people know it. And, you know, don't I'm not going to feel sorry for these people. They did this to us. They created their own mess. They cast these curses and spells on us, and they expect people to have sympathy for them, but no, it destroyed the world, destroyed this great country. These people do anything for money, I'll tell you that much. Now, you folks be safe. Just another day in the zoo. Like I said, be safe, folks. And stay warm. It's cold out. I got to get ready for a great outdoors video. See you later.